Well, good morning. I've got the sniffles today, sneezing, very cold, snowing last night, so there's snow everywhere. Heating's on, but I'm trying to stay. It's relatively because this house is freezing. But I wanted to come on and talk a little bit about Game. Game have just announced that they're going to be stopping doing video game tradings, which I think is a huge blow to a lot of people. It's kind of strange because Game was sort of on the chopping block not that long ago, where the stores were at risk of closing down completely. I think that the trading side of Game is good for gaming, and it's where a lot of people, instead of buying games, they'll buy one major release for £70 or whatever, and then they'll finish that game as quick as possible, trade it in as quick as possible to still get maybe £60 store credit, and then use that to put it towards another game, effectively just spending another £10. I know people that have done this. I've done that myself. And the fact that they're taking that away, because of till streamlines, Game have now moved into a lot of Sports Direct, which is a sports shop. A lot of games now are located in the back of Sports Direct, but you can still get standalone stores within the UK, in other, on high streets and stuff, and they've got different tills. And it seems like the tills in Sports Direct are more streamlined than the actual game stores, and they're getting rid of the physical media, the trading side of it, just to streamline everything and make it more easier. But I'll read the article. The article's by Eurogamer, and then I'll get into it a little bit more after it. So let's get into that. So this is the article. Excuse my reading because it's awful, but UK retailer Game, and I'm just going to read the updated article and then maybe some of the original story, or maybe all of it. But I don't want to sort of start getting tongue tied and whatnot. UK retailer Game to cease video game trading, staff say. Update: chain now confirms. Game has now confirmed it will end video game tradings, as first reported by Eurogamer yesterday. And this is the quotation. As part of the integration of Game, we'll be phasing out the trading, pre-owned and Game Elite offerings in the UK over the coming months. That's the end of the quote. A spokesperson for the chain's owner, Frasers Group, told BBC News. Excuse me for the burp in there. Pre-owned will still be, another quotation, pre-owned will still be available in our standalone stores across the UK while stocks last, and Game Elite will still be available until the end of summer. End quote. Game Elite wasn't very good. I dabbled with it for a little bit. It wasn't great. You've got to really be heavily invested in Game to trade in, and you're constantly trading in to get any sort of benefit from it. So, not for me. Game Elite is the chain's reward program where you can earn boosted reward points with a 3-month subscription. Eurogamer understands the move has been prompted by the growing number of game outlets now located within Sports Direct stores, which require a separate till that lacks the large back catalogues of items the chain currently accepts for trade-ins. Games till software remains distant from the software used by Sports Direct, staff have told me, and also requires training for shop staff to deal with. Removing this would streamline the operation further, rather than undertake a costly process of merging systems in an age of declining physical game sales. So it's kind of a end of an era, really. I mean, there was another part in the article, in the original article, where the boss of Game said that they want to be seen as the one place you can get physical media games, like collector's editions, which they consider to be the vinyl of video games. And for people that don't want to wrap up a gift card for Christmas, basically want to buy somebody a gift for Christmas, which I think is a very small minority. I don't think there's anything wrong with giving somebody a gift card for Christmas. £20 Xbox voucher, £20 PlayStation voucher, Nintendo voucher, Game Pass subscription for how many months or whatever. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, sticking that in a card. A gift's a gift. And the vinyl, being the vinyl side of it, not everyone. That is a very small amount of people that go out and buy a £200 version of Dishonored or a £200 version of Spider-Man 2 to get a Corvo mask or a 19 inches of Venom statue. They're a very small, serious collectors that like to do that have way too much money, in my opinion. But it's all money going into the industry, I suppose. But like I said, it's like an end of an era, really. I mean, I genuinely think this will be the start of the end for Game. You're basically just handing all this business to CEX to say, look, well, if I can't trade my game in at Game, I'm going to go to CEX and get it, and I can even get cash. But obviously, store credit, you get more. But that's just taken away just taking away business from yourself. You know, the amount of people that rely on being able to trade in video games. I used to, you know, when I was wrapped up in physical media, I was obsessed with trading in games. We had a Blockbuster. I used to live above a pub, and there was a Blockbuster over the road, and they did like midnight launches for Call of Duty. I was constantly in and out of there. You know, I knew all the staff by first name. I was in there all the time trading games and buying new games. And the same with Game. I mean, I had to travel to Carlisle to get to Game, which was like a 20-minute train ride. But the same, they used to do midnight launches. And anytime I went into Game with a bag full of games, I'd be like, can I trade all these in? And I'd whack all these games out. And the people, you know, you'd see people in the queue going, we're going to be here forever. This guy's just brought his entire fucking PlayStation 2 library. But to have that ability to sort of trade in games and to get, I mean, I know people, and I've done it myself, where you buy a physical game, a brand new release, and I can only imagine what it's like now. Somebody buying a £70 game and going, right, I'm going to finish it as quick as I can to get as much store credit as I can, because the longer the game's out, the lower the store credit goes. If you buy The Last of Us 2 and finish it within a couple of days, you take that back into the game and ask for store credit, you're probably going to get about £65 store credit or 60 quid. You know, it's pretty much your money back, and you can use that for another game. And I know people that have done that and have done that for years, and just do that's the way they buy their games. You know, they just recycle. So to take that away and be like, oh, we're not doing it anymore, and it's all because of this Frasers Group, which is, by the way, Mike Ashley's not part of that anymore, but he was when this was going on. Mike Ashley left in... let's just have a quick look, actually. Game has been part of the Frasers Group since 2019, when the company accepted the takeover bid worth $52 million. Does Mike Ashley still own Frasers Group? Despite stepping down as CEO of Frasers Group in 2022, Mike Ashley continues to influence the company through significant shareholding and remaining on the board. So he was part of this. He was part of this to 2019. The man that nearly ran Newcastle Football Club into the ground as well. So, you know, it's, you know, merging of the tills and all that sort of thing. It just seems like they could get around this. They could keep this. You know, it just sounds like it's just like, oh, we're not going to bother. But they've said declining physical sales, and you know, physical sales are on the decline. Everything's mostly digital now. I'm on digital for PlayStation. Everything. All in all, though, I think this is a bad move for Game. It sounds like it could be sort of easily fixed. I mean, they've got the money to do it. I mean, if Frasers Group owns them, I mean, that's like a multi-million-pound company that could probably fix it. But I genuinely think that this is the decline of Game. I don't think a lot of people are going to be going in there to. Obviously, people that buy physical games will go in there, because there are people that are desperately clinging on to physical sales. I just think the writing's on the wall. I think for physical media is... I mean, they're already talking about consoles not existing anymore, so how are we going to buy our games through that? It's all going to be digital. It's all going to be through the library. If consoles are going to be moving to televisions and whatnot through Fire Sticks and, you know, USBs and stuff, or TVs are going to come with Game Pass and PlayStation, whatever, you know, how are we going to buy our games? We're not going to have a CD drive on the side of the TV, so I think it's a bad move. I don't think it's like I said, Game was on the chopping block not long ago, and then obviously Fraser Group bought them, and now they're all in the Sports Directs. You know, every time you go into Sports Directs, they're always in the back. But it's sad. It's like an end of an era. Do you know what I mean? I used to love going in Game, and, you know, there's no point me going in there anymore. There's no point. There's no point going in there. I can't buy a PlayStation 5 game because I don't have a PlayStation 5 disc drive. And if all the pre-owned games are going to be, you know, going, I might go in there and try and get some bargains, you know, before it all, you know, try and get a Breath of the Wild or something like that, and see what's, you know, because they might reduce everything. It might be a clearance sale. Do you know what I mean? So I might have a little bit of a snack, which is Cumbrian for luck. I might have a little bit of a snack in there and see what bargains I can pick up. But end of an era, in many ways, which means we'll all have to go to CEX now, and you know, go in there and smell the shit and piss.